Hello, my name is Michaela, and welcome to episode 1 of my Slow English podcast. These videos are designed to help you to grow your confidence, lift your pronunciation, and improve your listening and speaking skills. In today's first episode, I thought I could tell you about why I became an online teacher. So let's get started. Let me give you a bit of background first of all. Let's go back to the beginning. When I was younger and at school, I always loved learning. I was the kind of girl to sit in the library alone reading books and I loved learning from documentaries. I loved learning about different languages and cultures and building my confidence with talking to people. From a very early age, I knew I would love one day to have a job which meant I could speak to people all around the world. But I had no idea I would ever become a teacher. When I was a teenager, my mum always said to me, Michaela, you should be a teacher because you talk so much. And she was right. I did talk a lot. But I said to her, Mum, I could never be a teacher. I just can't imagine myself being in a school environment all my life. But everything changed as I got older. When I was at college, I took my A-levels. If you are not from the UK, don't worry. Let me explain what A-levels are. A-levels are usually 3 or 4 subjects that you can specialize in before you go to university. Usually, you learn and take your A-levels at the end of year 13. Year 13. So from years 11 to 13, you practice and learn the content to take the exams at the end of year 13. When I was in year 11, I was 16 years old. So I decided to take the A-levels that I enjoyed because at school I really liked art, drama studies, English literature, and Spanish. So I decided to take those school subjects at A-level, those 4 subjects. And I loved every single second of my courses. However, I realized very quickly that there is so much more to learn than what the education system teaches us. We are taught the basics of Spanish culture in Spanish studies. We are taught the basics in English literature with Shakespeare and a little bit about poetry. But truly, I wanted to learn these languages and teach the things that aren't taught sometimes at school, and to help people to feel more confident and to improve their ability in general and their knowledge of the world. But at this point, I was still lost. I still said to my mum, I don't want to be a teacher. That scared me. So I finished my A-levels and I achieved 3 A's and a C. And I was really proud of the progress I had made. But I was still lost. I didn't know what to do with my life. So I decided to take an online course in teaching English as a second language, an ESL course. And from there, I started my journey to becoming a teacher. While I was taking my English as a second language course, I was working 4 jobs at once because I wanted to be ready to move abroad to teach English. So I would study late at night and start my first job at 4 o'clock in the morning. I worked in a shop, a little grocery store in England, and I would have to stock the shelves and sell products to customers. Then, after my first job finished at 10 a.m., I would move to my next job, which was at a clothing store. At the clothing store or shop, I would sell clothes and I would help people find the best clothes for them. Then, after that job finished, I would go home about 4:30 to 5 p.m. and eat lunch/dinner. And then I would go to my next job, which was at a restaurant working as a waitress. Working as a waitress. And I would help people decide on what food they would like. I would serve people their food and drinks. And then about 11 p.m. to midnight, I would go home. I would then, it's so funny, I did so much. I would then go home and I would work a little while for a product marketing company for 2 to 3 hours a night, and then I would sleep. So I really wasn't sleeping at all. And of course, I would study in the gaps between jobs. Anyway, I really enjoyed the experiences I gained from these jobs. It was a really hard time in my life, but it was worth it. Anyway, back to teaching English. So I took this course. It was online. It was called a TEFL course, TEFL. And it taught me the basics of teaching people, how to interact, how to teach when they do not know, or when people do not know a single word of English. And I had so much fun. I had to do a couple of immersion days. These are days when you have to visit a centre and you have to finish the course with a small group of other people by presenting what you have learned and also picking up a few techniques to improve your English teaching skills further. I had an amazing time. It was an instructor, myself, and 2 other girls. So it was just 4 of us together, and it was such a wonderful experience to hear their stories, to learn about why the other girls wanted to teach English as well. And I just learned so much more about myself in that time. And I realized that actually, this is something I really want to do. So, yes, my mum was right. So, wait a second. I then wanted to move abroad. So, how did I teach online? I attempted to move abroad a few times teaching English, but unfortunately, the contracts just didn't work out. Unfortunately, there are lots of scams, and a lot of companies want for you to pay your own flights, which in theory isn't an issue, but a lot of the destinations are really far away and the pay is very minimum. I do know some people who got amazing contracts to work abroad, but for me, that just wasn't the case. So I decided, hey, COVID finished, let's go online. So I decided to start teaching online to students of all ages and abilities. I also took a degree, and this helped me to learn a few other languages as well, such as Spanish and French. I am in such a blessed and grateful position to say that this is my own business. I am an entrepreneur, and this is Learn with Michaela. And I would just like to thank you for being here with me on this journey, because if it wasn't for you, this company wouldn't exist. So thank you for learning with me. I really hope you will find these videos useful, and let me know if you have any questions or curiosities that you would like me to make episode 2 on. I really look forward to seeing you in episode 2 of the Slow English podcast. Thank you for watching. Bye.